welcome to the Mid-Year Reset mini masterclass of Unleashing the Power of Simplicity. My name is Julie Wenslick and I run P&W Designs, a custom planner business and design business where I focus on the simplicity of systems to reduce your overwhelm of the everyday. I definitely love me a good planner, but today we are talking about a mid-year reset. I cannot believe we are over halfway through the year, and I feel like the summer just started. I'm already halfway through. So I wanted to give myself space and give you the tools to relook at your visions and intentions for the year. So first of all, this is my first ever training for YouTube. I wanted to try out a video format on my blog, and I figured what better time than something where maybe you don't want to read a blog and you just want to listen to a Minnesota tanned face. Again, I'm a Minnesota mom. I run PW Designs on the side, have a 4-year-old toddler, and I work full-time as a corporate retirement plan consultant. So as I mentioned, to me, the year has flown by. I, admittedly, as a planner company, it's funny enough to admit this, I forgot to plan at the beginning of this year. Life just started. And I have set some monthly intentions, but I never went through like the full vision intention setting for the year in December, especially for my personal life. I did for my business, but not necessarily for my personal life. So first things first, one of the best things that I found in the beginning of each year, and even in the next 6 months, for this last 6 months or for the next 3 months, is doing what I call the camera brain dump of joy. So I'm recording this on my phone, so you can't actually see my phone, but I have over 3,000 photos just in my camera folder on my phone. And so this is a perfect time for a camera reset, as well as kind of your intention setting reset. So what I'm going to do, and what I highly suggest you do, is take a look at your memories from the last 6 months using your camera. So I'm going to attach my phone to my computer, transfer all those 3,000 photos, and quickly delete things that are like a waste of space. I don't want to save the memory anymore, etc. Kind of give, again, that reset of like, well, I took the picture for a reason. Do I still need this picture? And then from there, what you'll do, or what I do, is create subfolders. So I say 2 macro subfolders are personal and business, right? So on the personal side, that's my life, that's my daughter, that's my husband, that's my family. And then I usually even subfolder that by month so that I can say, okay, this is January through June at this point. So it's easier for me to order chat books. And then the other folder is business. So as somebody on social media, creating content, having my website, there's always room for branding, for B-roll, for nice photos. So I'm going to take everything that I had maybe taken or saved as like, oh, that would make a good photo, that would make a good reel, whatever. Put that in a folder so that when I am looking for content, I have a centralized place to go and I remember, oh yeah, I took that photo, there was a reason for it. But the beauty of this exercise is it gives you a look back of the last 6 months. What were some of your favorite memories? What were some of your favorite experiences? What, did maybe your children love the best? Did you go on any vacations? Did you do anything around the house? It literally gives you that time and space to do that. And then, like I mentioned, if you haven't, and you're always like, maybe you were in the past a scrapbooker or a Shutterfly book person and you just don't have any time like me anymore, maybe try chat books. So I have been doing chat books for 2 years. I have an app on my phone. I literally just upload all the photos to a simplistic lay flat hardcover chat books. And then when it comes in the mail, I write in a Sharpie and write all my captions. So that's like my quick and easy way to do, like Shutterfly scrapbooking, because that was a goal long ago in life. So now I have 2 years of chat books. And again, at least our photos are going somewhere instead of just like sitting on my phone. So that's step 1 of your reset. Do that kind of brain dump of joy, clean up your phone. Definitely something that, from a digital declutter perspective, you will not regret, and again, creates the system for you from a business perspective. It's time to get into kind of the nitty gritty of the mid-year reset. So what does that look like for you? I am going to talk about 4 different segments today. When you actually print, and I have it here, the vision planning workbook, this will give you space for 8 categories. So I'll talk about 4 of them today. Again, because each person's categories are going to be unique to them, but there's space in the workbook to do this. And really kind of talk about what those categories are, why they're important. So first of all, it's the big macro category of your personal life, right? So what has happened in the last 6 months? What were your personal goals at the beginning of the year? Have you conquered any of them? Have you conquered some of them? Have you completely given up? Have you changed your goals, right? This is the space and place to do that. It's okay if you haven't gotten to any of them, right? Life can totally change from what you intended. But the point is for you to give the space to look at what are your goals now and how do you want to make progress in the next 3 months and 6 months. So first of all, when you do that, again, use the workbook, but think of, your top 3 goals in the next quarter and your top 3 goals in the next 6 months of what do you want from a personal life perspective. For me, one of the goals that I did not set this year that randomly came about was that I have read 25 books. So now I'm going to set that intention that I'm going to continue to read and give myself space to do that. The other goal that I'd like to do is for the month of July and August, get on the kayak or paddleboard once a week and make sure that I'm spending time relaxing and resting and not just working. The second category, now this will be dependent on if you work for somebody else or if you work for yourself or if you work both, well then you're going to have to do this twice. But the second category is career and business, right? So it's a never-ending juggling act, especially when you work a 9 to 5, that's going to take up the majority of your time. So how has your career been going this year? Have you accomplished the goals that maybe your corporate job has set out for you? Are you making progress for those corporate goals? And if not, how can you make sure that you do? Because obviously from a corporate perspective, you don't make your goals, you don't get that money. But from a business perspective too, right? If you set intentions at the beginning of the year, for example, one of my intentions at the beginning of the year was to write a weekly blog. I didn't exactly do that in June, but I intentionally slowed down, right? So it's not like I didn't meet that goal. I changed my goal for June. I will be changing my goal probably for July and August as well, enjoying the summer. And then, kick back up those 4 weekly blog posts in the rest of the year and maybe do more video content. We'll see. But really take that time, space, place. If you are running your own business, also make sure you're looking at what are your financial goals for the business and have you been tracking them? Have you been meeting them? For example, one of the goals and this kind of dips into the finance thing, but one of the goals that my husband and I are doing we are hiring an accountant in July because our finances have gotten complicated. I own my own business. My husband owns his own business. I have a full-time job that has been growing. And so we need somebody to help organize and figure out our tax planning strategy as we get into our mid-30s. So speaking of finances, the same thing, right? Did you set financial goals at the beginning of the year? Are you trying to pay off debt? Are you trying to pay off a car? Are you trying to buy a house in this interest rate environment, right? What are your goals for your finances? What were your goals? Have you made progress? Do your goals still feel aligned with what you want to accomplish in the next 6 months? And if they do, again, write down those 3 priorities. I'm thinking I'll have to link it in my blog post, but there is a website called, I think it's debtfreecharts.com. So if you're looking to pay off credit card bills, student loans, etc., there is a website that has these fun free charts that I've printed off in the past, and you color it in as you make progress. So if you are making some sort of savings or debt goals, that's a fun way to maybe involve the family or even your spouse if you're doing those financial goals on your own. The final category that I'll talk about today, which really centers around Better Everyday 5, is your well-being, right? So I am a firm believer in putting yourself first. And whether you have kids, whether you have a spouse, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I'm sure you've heard that saying before. So that's why I talk about one thing for you pretty consistently, and I make sure to have that time. Now that time's going to look different for every person's calendar, right? So if you're a mom of 3, that time might be 10 minutes in the evening to read a book. Because summer activities, you're going all over the place and trying to juggle a full-time job. But setting that intentional time, your intentional priorities around your own well-being. So for me, that is in the summertime, getting to the gym 3 days a week to work out in the mornings, as well as integrating in Pilates once or twice a week. When my gym adds back in yoga, I'll be going to the yoga sessions as well. And then I'm meal planning. I'm tracking my nutrition, and God knows I am not perfect at that, but I'm trying, right? I'm setting those intentions. You will not know where you're going unless you have that intention of setting that intention. You know what I mean? But everything from a mid-year reset perspective, use this workbook. It is in a lot of my custom planner clients. They get a version of this at the beginning of their planners, but this is a good one to say, okay, maybe I've filled out that past, or I just want to take snippets of maybe setting your top 3 priorities for each of your categories that are key. But remember, you've got this. A mid-year reset is a chance to reclaim control, simplify your life, and reduce that everyday overwhelm. And again, you are doing an amazing job. Let's take this opportunity, set an hour aside for yourself, get clear on your vision, get clear on how you want to feel at the end of the year, and know that we all got this. Some days are not good. Every day is not great, right? I wrote in the blog post, but sprinkle of realism, right? That every day is not perfect. Sometimes life feels like a toddler throwing a tantrum in the grocery aisle, and you're just trying to get out of there without making a scene. But if you can find the simplistic and little pieces of joy in your everyday, hopefully that helps reduce the overwhelm in the long term. So that is what I will leave you with today. Again, I'm Julie Wenslick from P&W Planners. Click the link for the free workbook to actually walk you through how to do that vision planning and that quarterly reset. And let me know what you think and what questions you have.